Hey guys, it's Weds. So, Path of Exile 2 is here, and the grind is real. So, I've been playing this game since yesterday, and I have a blast. Now, my impression with this game is amazing. In any case, now everybody already knew this game was going to be amazing, but what I didn't know is whether or not I was going to be able to actually get into the game, because we were all worried about the servers. Yes, it took a couple hours before most people can get on, but I first started and then I went in and then I saw the queue. I'm like, oh man, I guess I'm not going to play. Then I said, okay, well, I'll come back some other time. Then later on in a couple hours, and I came back, and luckily I was able to get on, and I've been on since then. I took a break last night and went to bed. I'm just trying to see what the difference is between POE 1 and POE 2, because yeah, I am a POE 1 player. I played for at least 2 years and on and off, and play other games, but I am by no means an expert in POE because people with like 5 years still consider themselves newbies. So I am the noobest of the noobs that exist, but I can give you some idea how to play the game by just being a gamer. Now, I know some people call other people gamer dad, casual, and all that kind of stuff. The game is all about having fun, and I'm having a lot of fun when I start playing POE 2, just like I used to have fun when I was playing POE 1. Now, the good thing about it, there are some differences in the game from POE 1, but it's not that much different. Now, they kind of simplify the game to make it easier for newcomers, which is a good thing. And so if you are a new player, now especially if you are playing on console, I am playing on Xbox. Now, the first thing I would advise you to do is just make sure you go to this setting. So if we go to this right here, you can go to the option this way, and then you can just go and then just check out your setting. Just set up your game the way that you want. And there's a lot of things that you can do to make the game work better for you. And let's say we go to game, for instance. And now you don't want to mess with crossplay. Just leave it the way it is. Now, as far as the item filter, right now, you're just going to be on the default. But once everybody start making filters, you can just go on the website, on the POE website, and then just get yourself a good filter from the expert. Just like in POE 1, people are making filters, and you can just go and download the filter, and it will be in your game, even though you are playing on console. So this is no big deal. But look at all the options that you have available for you, and then see which one that you want to toggle on or off. Now, when it comes to the general, and this is very important. Now, you can see the map on the corner of the screen, and you can just mess around with those. Just the transparency, just make sure that it looks good for you, and just only you, because you're the one that is playing the game. I play on a big screen TV, and yeah, I don't have any problem seeing. But if you are playing on a small screen, then you might want to just mess around with the transparency so you can see a lot better. But in any case, just mess around with this for the map transparency. So if I start moving, you can see that it's getting darker and darker. So I can just fade it and all that kind of stuff. So just make it so it looks the way that you want. And then you can zoom in the map, just see, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. Just find a happy medium for you, and you are going to be good to go. Just like I said, just check out all the options to see which is going to be better for you, and you should be good to go. Just make sure you look at the option that you have. And as far as, giving you advice, I would say just it is whatever is best for you. So I'm not going to tell you this is what's good for you, because you're the one that is playing the game, and we all have different options in different circumstances. On the input settings, this is all about your controller and all that stuff. So you can just mess around with them to see which one is better for you. Just take a feel for it. That's the reason why the game is fun. So you just play the way that is fun for you. Now, I don't like vibration, so I took this off. But if you like to have the vibration, you can keep it on. But if you are someone that plays couch co-op, then there's two different options. There's got controller number 1 and controller number 2. So I only play by myself, so I'm good to go. Now for the notification, just check it out and see what you want to toggle on or off, and then you should be good to go. There's a lot of them that are already on, so I'm not in a guild, but I just leave it on. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't do anything that bothers me, so I leave it alone. If there is something that you want to check on, then just go ahead and do so. Now, trade is very important, so it's going to be important when you start the end game, because you might be looking for some good item and you want to make sure that you know when somebody's asking you for a trade. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you keep this on. Again, you can look at them and see which one is better for you, and then just go from there. And then once you make your changes, just make sure that you just save it. Now, something I wanted to mention about the graphic portion of it. Now, I play on 4K, and because I have a 4K TV, and on Xbox Series X, and I don't have any issues so far. Now, the only issue that I have one time when I was playing yesterday is the game stuck a little bit, and then I had to restart the game. I was streaming also, and I had to restart the game and just go back in, and I didn't have any issue. But you can play on high resolution on your Xbox, and you'll be good to go. The 60 hertz, the 60 frames per second, that's all there is to it, and you are good to go. Now, as a new player and you're playing controller, or anybody that's playing on controller, sometimes when I play on PC, I also use the controller because it's easier for me. But it's best you're using mouse and keyboard and you're also using a controller. I only wish they had the option for us to use a mouse in the console version. That way you can manage your inventory a lot better. But for now, it is what it is. But on controller, so if you want to just set up your keys, just you can see, you can just bind your keys. Just go here in the wheel, just press and hold the view button on the Xbox controller. That is the one next to the left analog stick. And then you can just come here and then bind your keys. So when you are getting your gem, you're cutting gems and you're trying to find what is the best one to use. But you want to make sure you put them in a place where they are very comfortable for you. Like for instance, for me, I'm doing a cold build, so I'm using a freezing shard. So I think it is easier for me to put it on the right trigger because it's almost like shooting things. So I put it there. So just mess around with the skills and see where they fit the best for you, and then just use that way. Now, it comes native with the dodging on the B button, but I keep it that way because normally, even when I play Diablo, the dodging, evading, you can use the B button, and so it feels natural. So they had already put it that way for you, so you leave it as so. I think, but if you want to put it somewhere else, and then you should be good to go. So you're just gonna manipulate those the way that you want, and then eventually, if you find another skill that you feel like it's uncomfortable, just come here and then just press the button and then just put it there, and you'll be good to go. It's very easy. They make it very simple for you to actually do all those things on controller. It feels very, very, very good on controller. So if I want to change my skill, you can see it tells you what button you need to press to actually change your skill. Just go with that and you are good to go. Just gonna experiment with a lot of things. Now, one thing I forgot to mention while I was talking about the skills. So if you go back to options and you go to the gamepad area, and then you see the HUD where you see all the skills on the screen. You got it on central, which is on the center of the screen, of your screen. So if you want to change this, you can change it to left to right if you want to. So you can put it on the left, and then if you save it, then it's going to be on the left side as you see right here. But if you don't want that, you want it to be, I like it in the center the way that it is. If you don't want that, just put it back to the center. And then just save it, and then you are good to go. And also, if you see the area, you can adjust the area. Just make sure that you can make it bigger or you can make it smaller. So if I want to make this bigger, I can just make it bigger or make it smaller or as small as possible. You know, you can do all that. So just more real estate for you or less real estate for you. Depends on how you want it to be. So I like it where it is right now. So that's where I keep mine. Now, one of the good things that they do to make the game a lot better from POE 1, like for instance, in POE 1, when you are out of town and you want to come back to town, you have to use a portal scroll to actually go back to town. But in POE 2, what you gotta do, just press your corresponding button, and then you can just get a portal so you don't have to have a resource to actually go back. And then you will go back to town. I really, really like that change that they make when it comes to that. And then you are back in town. And if you want to go back to where you came from, then just move back to the portal, and then you are good to go. So I really like that. Back then, you used to have to worry about the portal scroll or do some of the gaming to actually get back to town. Now they make it a lot easier, and they make a lot of good change in the game. Now we don't have to talk about all that stuff. Now let's talk about gameplay. How is the gameplay? The gameplay is really smooth, in my opinion. It is very good. And POE is not an easy game. So when you first started, you're going to get your ass kicked. So that's okay. Well, once you learn, so you find a boss and you're going to fight the boss, and then you might get killed the first time. But once you learn the boss, then you're back at it. It's good to go. That's what makes this game so good. That's why everybody is so excited about this game. You actually really playing a game when you're having fun. But if it was too easy, then you wouldn't be having fun, right? Now, you will always hear that very often. A lot of people are afraid to play POE. It's because of the skill tree or the passive tree. So it is not that bad. And you're going to hear that from a lot of people who are veterans of the game. They're going to tell you, you just have to take your time. So if you are intimidated by the passive tree, then you may not play the game. But it is very, very user-friendly once you know what you're doing. Now, the best way to approach the passive tree is by knowing what you want to do. So let's say I'm a sorcerer, and then I want to do a cold build. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look down there. It says filter. So I'm just going to go and then type cold. So once I type cold, then it's going to show me all the nodes that have to deal with cold, right? And then so now what I got to do, just have a plan of action. And then my plan of action is trying to find out which is the best path for me to go get all these cold nodes. That's going to make my build stronger. Now, if I look to the left, I can see there's a big patch of cold stuff down there. Maybe I don't want to go that way, but I look to on top, I can see, and they also have a lot of cold stuff up there. So that's probably the way that I need to make my way up there to actually get there. And then if I look closer to where we started, because everybody's going to start right here, and I can see there's a bunch of cold node right here. So I can just make my way to this area right there and start taking advantage of all this stuff. So that's the easiest way to actually approach the game. And then just start messing around with things, and then you should be good to go. And if you want critical chance, crit chance, or whatever, just type that in your keyboard, and then just start seeing which way you get to path it out. And then that's the best way to actually play the game, and then see if you create your build, does it work? And if not, you can just respec with gold, because they make it easier now for you to respec. In POE 1, most people would just go and find somebody else's build and then just play it. Now in POE 2, they make it so you can just create your own build if you don't want to follow a build. But if you want to follow a build, there is nothing wrong with following somebody else's build and then play the game, having fun, and you should be good to go. But right now, in the beginning of the game, I'm just having fun, just creating my own build, just play the way that I want and having fun, like I said. So that's one of the best tips I can give you if you are a new player, or even if you are an old player that is a returning player. But POE 2 is very, very awesome. Now, the next thing, when you're playing the campaign and you are getting gears, you are getting stuff, and you are going to get some resources. Now, one thing you need to do is just look at the resources that you're getting. Now, you're not going to find a lot of stuff early on. So what you need to do is just upgrade this stuff that you have. And there are some resources that drop on the ground. You can pick them up. For instance, I got this Orb of Alchemy. I can just use this on a normal item and then turn it into a rare item. Then next thing you know, and I am banging. So those are some of the resources that you can use. It tells you exactly what they do, and then you just use them. This is a lot of things that the game's teaching. Even the game developers, they tell you, you need to craft your stuff. And so you can make yourself more powerful. Like I said, even a level 1 enemy is going to kick your ass in this game. But once you start upgrading your gear, knowing what you're doing, then you are going to have fun. You're going to be good to go. Now, like I said, I'm taking my time to just learning the system for the sequel of the game, because it is a little different from POE 1, but not that much different. So if I can see, which is the best way to approach the game, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to rush anything. Like I said, one of some of the main difference, like in POE 1, the gear come with links and you have to slot things. Now, in this game, you find uncut gem, and then you can create your own skill. So it gives you the option to actually create a skill. And then when you create the skill, then you can just equip the skill. So it's going to be a lot of player agency going on with POE 2. So that's what makes the game a lot more fun. So it is very, very, very user-friendly, in my opinion. Now, eventually things can get a little harder when you start getting the hard content. It's supposed to be that way. So by that time, you may decide whether or not you want to play the hard content or just continue to play other things. There's a lot of things for you to do in the game. I think you are going to be fine. But we're not going to talk about, all these support jamming and all that kind of stuff. That's for another day. In any case, that's what I wanted to go over, especially for a new player. I wanted to give my reaction and my impression about the game and how amazing I feel playing this game, knowing that I used to play POE 1 and then now I see it is a very, very satisfying game. In any case, that's all we have. Hopefully you find this interesting. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.